Hello everybody, welcome back. If you have not been here before, my name is Debbie and I read a lot of books. Today I've got a Taylor Jenkins Reid book for you, After I Do. There's one that managed to pass me by, so I had no idea what was happening. It's nice when you go into a book really not knowing anything. You know, it hasn't been spoiled by the internet. Yeah, I'm going to get in with that blurb and tell you what I thought about this one and what possible books it reminded me of. When Lauren and Ryan's marriage reaches the breaking point, they come up with an unconventional plan. They decide to take a year off in the hopes of finding a way to fall in love again. 1 year apart and only one rule: they cannot contact each other. Aside from that, anything goes. Lauren embarks on a journey of self-discovery, quickly finding that her friends and family have their own ideas about the meaning of marriage. These influences, as well as her own healing process and the challenges of living apart from Ryan, begin to change Lauren's ideas about monogamy and marriage. She starts to question when you can have romance without loyalty and commitment without marriage. When love and lust are no longer tied together, what do you value? And what are you willing to fight for? So this is 352 pages in contemporary fiction, family sagas and romance. I must admit, I'm enjoying my Taylor Jenkins Reid binge. It feels like it's been gone here. It says I've read Malibu Rising, I've read The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I think The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo was the first one I did. I've got One True Loves I've read, Carrie Sato is Back, I've done Daisy Jones and the Six. That mean I've read all of them? No idea. Either way, I'm very much enjoying it. And for somebody who, to be fair, as my dad says, there's kind of a rom-com at the heart of everything. But it's not a genre that I gravitate too much. I'm more towards like murder mysteries and a bit of fantasy and things. There is a little bit of romance in there, but it's the stuff that's like solely rom-com. I don't read as much of it. Considering the fact that I do like a good rom-com film, it's weird that I don't read it as much. But yeah, so in here you meet Lauren. It's done from Lauren's point of view. So the first 100 or so pages you see kind of the backstory of Lauren and Ryan's relationship. So you actually start off with them having an argument outside of a stadium because Lauren knows where the car is, Ryan doesn't. He takes her on a wild goose chase and she's just like, but the car is there. So like a typical kind of married life argument about where the car's parked. But then you kind of get the backstory of them being childhood sweethearts and leading up to this moment in their relationship when you realise that things have just kind of gotten a bit stale for them. So they get back, they have an argument, and then they together realise that they've kind of fallen out of love with each other. Which is a sad moment to reach in a relationship, and you're just thinking, is this salvageable? You know, we've committed so much of our time to each other. You know, is it a failure to give up on this marriage? And I'm just there thinking, well, if you've fallen out of love, maybe this love is just for now. But that's what this book looks at, kind of like, is this a relationship just for now? You know, what can be learned from the relationship? You know, can they live without each other or can they live with each other? That kind of thing. And there's a dog in there as well, where they're kind of arguing about who takes the dog when one person's taking the house, and ultimately Ryan ends up with nothing. So Ryan moves out, he leaves the dog. Originally they come up with a plan that Lauren will have the dog for 2 months and then they'll do an exchange, but the rule that they have is that they're not going to contact each other for a whole year, which Lauren struggles with, because at first she just wants to reach out to him and see how he is, and she wants him to reach out and wish a happy birthday on her birthday and for them to do traditions and things. And so it's Lauren looking at her life with Ryan and without Ryan and seeing, can she live without him, does she want to live without him? And yeah, it's quite a beautiful book really. Just looking at Lauren's evolvement of finding herself within her marriage. This is very much a finding yourself book when she's in her early 30s, I want to say. And they've been together since they were teenagers, so it's like this is like the first love and the only love, and she's trying to work out, like, does she want to see other people during this year, because it's not something that they've ruled out. As I said, the only rule was that they're not allowed to contact each other. There is a point when Lauren decided she wanted to check his emails and find out if there was any possibility of him cheating on her, which she doesn't find any evidence of that, but she then finds out that he has been writing messages to her but not sending them. So she ends up looking through his draft emails at the messages that he has written but not sent, which then gives her the idea to do the same thing of writing emails to him but not actually sending them, so they're just staying in her drafts. And you find out a lot about their lack of communication when Lauren reads something on his emails and does a kind of a retaliation of sorts in her email, establishing things and saying, well, actually, you know, I didn't want to go to this restaurant, I've never liked this restaurant, and, you know, you realise there's just a really big communication problem that's happened over their last couple of years together. Yeah, so she's there thinking like, well, how long have we actually been unhappy for, you know, when was the last time we had sex, that kind of thing. And basically with that year off, it's kind of that question of like, does absence make the heart grow fonder? Because she's there trying to work out if she does want to leave him or not. Whenever she talks to anybody about what she and Ryan are doing, she's just like, after the year we're going to come back together and reassess and do what we're going to do. And at the beginning she's very much a case of like, it's 1 year and then we'll fix everything. And then through that year she then also comes to a point when she's just like, oh, actually I feel like I can live without him. You know, I've come to a point when I've realised that I can be independent. But the real question is, does she want to? That is the huge question over all of it, is no matter how happy they are in that year without each other, do they want to be apart from each other? Is there still a bit of love under the surface that they're trying to cling on to? So yeah, it's just a beautiful book about trying to find yourself and understanding the love that you have for somebody, and the fact that sometimes absence does make the heart grow fonder. It was just a really, really sweet book, and it's another one where it doesn't feel like it's within the world of the other books, because as I've said before, I think like Malibu Rising, Carrie Soto is Back, The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, and Daisy Jones and the Six are all within the same universe. There's references to characters from other books in there, but with this one and One True Loves, there isn't that connection to the other books, which, to be fair, she could have done very easily. Could have Taylor Jenkins Reid, whether it was just like listening to a song from Daisy Jones and the Six, but I feel like it's one that it works well on its own without having to tie it into that Taylor Jenkins Reid universe. But yeah, it's fun seeing Lauren's relationship with her family, with her sister, her mum, her grandma, and her brother, and seeing her brother's relationships, her sister's relationships, her mother's relationships, because her mother's seeing a new man, and then that family's relationship with Ryan, and whether they consider him part of the family, which becomes a big part, especially through the brothers' storyline, because you find out through the family story that their dad walked out one day and never came back, and so Lauren's brother has never really had a man in his life, and so he takes it quite hard when he finds out that Lauren and Ryan might possibly be splitting up, especially with this year, and the fact that Ryan is kind of the closest male kind of figurehead for him, and Lauren trying to understand her brother's point of view. So yeah, it's definitely in family sagas, just due to the nature of Lauren and her family, and understanding her relationship with her husband. Just the communication problems that you realised were happening as they were drifting apart. So I had a thing about where I wanted it to go based on how it felt like it was moving. It didn't go the way that I thought it was, but I wasn't mad about it. Like, I liked how it ended and how some things were able to be fixed, especially in regards to that communication, and little things that came out about what both of them were doing. So ultimately I just found it a really sweet book. I really enjoyed it. It didn't go where I thought it was going to go, but I was happy with where it ended up. So yes, After I Do by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Your front cover one more time. But yeah, so thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not already, and then I will see you next time with another video. Stay safe, and I love you all. Goodbye.